Hello and welcome everybody to Side Effect, our midweek Flickr Effects sideshow where we take a look at news from the world of film, television, and pop culture, and whatever else is on our minds. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2018. I'm David Lott. Joining me this week is Bobby Jackson.
Hey, what's up out there?
And Michelle Hillard.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Plenty to talk about this week. We can jump right into it unless anybody's got anything.
No.
Anybody feeling any regrets post top 10 show? You want to already change your orders?
Nope.
No, dude.
It's locked in forever.
Oh man, I'm so happy with my selection.
Nobody's already seen something else and is like, oh fuck, man, I really want to put that in there.
Hasn't happened.
All right.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. All right. Let's talk.
You? How about you?
To me, I haven't seen anything else, so that's definitely not the case. I want to try to see I, Tonya this weekend. And what's the other movie that's in town? Phantom Thread is in town as well. But,
is it?
Yeah, I want to check out Antonia. That's a movie, like the story in and of itself is not like of a particular interest to me, but the way they made that movie and things I'm hearing about it, that piques my interest.
Yeah.
The story itself, whatever.
Right.
Anyway, let's talk about some news, shall we, from the past week. More recently, we found out that the Flash film has new directors.
New directors?
So what directors do we have before? And I'm forgetting their names. Bobby, you know them off the top of your head? I know Seth Grahame-Smith.
Well, yeah. And then I think before him, I think it was Lord and Miller.
No. I don't think Lord and Miller were ever actually attached to it, were they?
I thought they were attached to direct for like a short time, and then it went to Seth Grahame-Miller. I could be wrong. But
wasn't it, what's his name from directed Dope?
Yeah, and then he was the most recent.
Okay.
Technically the most recent. I keep wanting to say Fugiyama.
Yeah, it's like a funky last name. We're very professional here. I know. I should really have this. Yeah, something like that.
Well, I didn't know you were going to go in.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you. It was me. I don't have like his name in my notes. But anyway, the guys that wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, John Francis DeLay and Jonathan Goldstein, are apparently in negotiations to direct, as it's still being called Flashpoint. This is according to Variety. I guess they directed that Vacation reboot. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I never saw it. But
I didn't see it either, but I just didn't hear good things. Anyway, so we apparently have directors for the Flash film. So
is it a locked deal or is it still in negotiations?
It sounds like it's in negotiations. I don't think anything's been announced by Warner Brothers yet. This is according to Variety that they're in negotiations, so it's probably going to happen. But any thoughts? Any opinions?
Famuyiwa.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
Well, as far as thoughts, I don't know, because they were two of the writers that were on Spider-Man Homecoming, but there was a total of 6 writers on that film, so I don't know what they contributed.
Right.
And if all you're going by is what they've actually directed so far, which was Vacation, and it was widely panned, critics and by audiences. So it's not really a great resume to go into. And as far as if you look at some of the other people that they had attached to it, where it seemed more interesting choices. And this one just seems like they are going with maybe, I don't even want to call them the hot hand, but just something that seems like they're pulling from what they saw in Spider-Man Homecoming and maybe trying to adapt that sense of humor to the Flashpoint movie, which in and of itself sounds strange because Flashpoint isn't really a very funny movie. There's not really much comedy to it at all if you know the storyline. So
right.
I don't really know what the idea is there. And you can make an argument to say that maybe the Russo brothers, coming from a comedy background, did an action movie that didn't have to be comedy based. But I don't know, if you just look at their resume specifically and what they've been doing, I haven't really seen them do anything beyond that. So it's hard to say that they can bring anything interesting to the table. So it's jury's out. You never know when it comes to these flash movies if they'll just recycle another director after a little while.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll see if these guys hold on to actually direct the movie or not. Moving on, some interesting news this week from John Schnepp over at Collider Movie Talk. He apparently is in the know that, according to him, indeed, Tom Holland is going to appear. Tom Holland, as we all know, was the new Spider-Man who was in Spider-Man Homecoming. He appeared in Captain America Civil War as Spider-Man. He is going to appear in the Venom movie. The Venom movie being developed by Sony. It's not a part of the MCU, technically. And what I guess we've kind of been on the idea, or I don't know if we heard it from a source at some point, that this movie's not going to include Spider-Man, and it's going to be just kind of this separate story in the Spider-Man universe that's not really a part of the current like Spider-Man universe, if you want to call it that, with Tom Holland. So now the word is that he is going to appear in it, and this is something that, as I've been listening to opinions about it this week, has been making me insane. Like, it's driving me up the wall again, because it drove me up the wall the last time I think we talked about this. Michelle, you're giving me a funky look. So, okay.
Are you against it?
No, I'm not. I'm not against it at all.
But opinions are.
So a little backstory for anyone who needs some catching up on this whole thing. So Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, for the movie rights. Obviously, they made their own Spider-Man movies, and then more recently, they made a deal with Marvel to kind of share those rights, at least to kind of include Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I don't know the details. I can't remember the details of that deal. And Bobby, please jump in if you remember, like, how many movies Marvel's allowed to use him in, and how many movies Sony may still. I mean, I guess Sony can still make as many movies as they want, but.
Sure, exactly. I think the running deal, excuse me, is just for Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Homecoming 2. I believe that's it. I don't think there was a third one on the table. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was just those two movies.
Right.
And then using him in, obviously, Civil War and then Avengers 3 and 4.
So yeah, Sony can still make movies with Tom Holland all they like, right? I mean, but, you know, Marvel...
Under contract, whatever their contract is.
Yeah, whatever their contract is with him. Yeah, of course. But my problem is I feel like, so this came up before, like, oh, is he going to appear in this? And I don't remember if it was just about him appearing in this or just other Spider-Man movies in general. And about that, like, in this case, like, there's a lot of people, or at least some people out there, that seem to be of the opinion that it's going to confuse people if Spider-Man is in this, but this isn't part of the MCU. And I don't understand that train of thought, because in my opinion, most people aren't going to know or give a shit. Like,
Right.
you know, I don't... Like, the argument seems to be like, oh, well, you know, you're going to have to explain it to audiences, like, that there's a difference. And I'm like, no, you don't have to explain anything. Like, most people are going to go see a Venom movie and be like, oh, cool, Spider-Man's in it. Like, first, I don't know if, obviously, we don't know if indeed he is going to appear. We don't know if Sony's going to market it that way, or if it's going to be like a surprise. I'm kind of leaning toward, like you are, Bobby, I think that it would be a surprise. At least I think that's where you're leaning.
Yeah.
And even if that's the case, if someone goes into a Venom movie and they're watching it and then suddenly, boom, there's Tom Holland as Peter Parker, they're going to be like, oh, cool, like, there's Spider-Man's in this. And they're not going to think any more of it. They're not going to wonder, like, well, I don't understand because this isn't an MCU movie and what's happening. And no one know. I mean, some people know, but no one.
I think the people that know are nerdy people like us that understand what the hell's freaking happening. And I think anybody else who's not at this level, just Joe Schmo, is going to be like, oh, look, it's Spider-Man. It's awesome. And they're going to move on with their day. Like, it's not going to be this whole, like, MCU. It's no.
The only thing that, and the more I've thought about this, the only thing I could see that it would be annoying is if, say in the next, in Infinity War, the next Avengers film, the more we learn about, okay, what has he been up to as Spider-Man? If for some reason there's so much information dropped in that movie about like what he's been up to and or what have you, or if there was something that were going to conflict, like an obvious conflict between what we see in the Venom movie and what we know about going on in the MCU, then yes, that would be kind of annoying. But to me, I don't imagine there's going to be a major conflict. Like, I don't think I'm going to see him in the Venom film and go, wait, that doesn't make any sense because this is what's going on with him right now. And he's not actually doing that. He's not in school here. He's in school there. And something tells me that's not going to be a problem. But if that were the case, then yes, I get it. In that odd circumstance. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
No, totally. I don't know. I don't think the writers are going to do anything. That's a lot of work, dude. That's a lot of, like...
I don't know. It just blows me away. Like, I mean, there's a very reputable film blog out there that, like, they're like, oh, I can't believe Disney will even allow this to happen. And I'm like, wait, what?
Have you done your homework?
I'm like, first of all, I don't think Disney has a choice.
No,
I mean, if I understand how it worked, I mean, what do I know? I guess maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Disney has a say in it. And I don't, it blows my mind that the thought is that this is going to be this, like, universe destroying thing that's going to happen. Like, it's not that big a deal. I think it's cool that he's going to pop up. And by the way, yeah, apparently John Schnepp kind of clarified that, and I'll read the quote. He said, Tom Holland was on set filming scenes on Venom for at least 2 days as Peter Parker. Okay, so I'm not saying Spider-Man is in the film. When I say Tom Holland's Spider-Man is in the film, I'm saying Peter Parker is in the film. So he may not actually be Spider-Man in it, but it sounds like at least Peter Parker will be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to me, it sounds like it's kind of a flash in the pan moment that's probably going to happen between him and Venom. Not even as him as Spider-Man, more as him as Peter Parker walking the street. Parker. Like, It just seems like it's not going to be... It sounds like it's an appearance. It doesn't sound like he's got major scenes and a ton of dialogue. Like, he's only there for 2 days. Like, yeah, no, dude. It's a pretty... No. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just been driving me nuts as I've been reading and kind of hearing some of the stuff. And I'm just like, this is not confusing. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think once it gets closer, people won't really, the mass majority of the general audience won't know the difference until someone tells them, probably, and it's not going to be a big deal. The way I keep looking at it is the same way that the Netflix model works, where those characters have gotten farther and farther away from mentioning any of the main stuff going on in the MCU, but yet it's still connected in the same universe. So it's not like in the Punisher series, the Punisher goes around talking to whoever he's talking to and then all of a sudden starts talking about Iron Man. It's just not in his world, in the sense of he has other problems to deal with. He's not talking about the characters that are in the universe. So it'd be the same with Venom. He's not going to go around name dropping, the Hulk or anyone else. He's just going to be keeping it centered to Spider-Man or Peter Parker, which is what he knows. That's his world. So it makes it to where it fits in, but it's not directly connected to a way that you have to try and put those puzzle pieces together.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like if someone sees the Venom movie and they don't have any mention of anything else going on in the MCU that people are going to be like, well, wait, he didn't say anything about anybody else, so it's not connected, and this doesn't make sense, and gives a crap. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, so long story short, Tom Holland's probably going to be in the Venom movie. And if you ask me, I'm cool with it.
That's awesome. Good news.
Yeah.
So, anyway. It's funny, I think it was our last side effect episode.
Yeah.
We had, and I forget what we were even talking about, but we talked about the Deadpool release date.
Right, we were talking about Deadpool, new X-Men, and... Crap, I lost it.
Did you say the New Mutants or the new X-Men movie?
We were talking about the new X-Men movie, and then we talked about the Deadpool release date. But anyway, what I'm getting at is we had just talked about, I think we mentioned a date, and then like right after we recorded that episode, the Deadpool date changed.
Yeah, it was like we're talking about 3 films because there's a whole flow to it, and they released the dates. Well, literally like the next day, they basically switched all 3 of those movies' dates.
So yeah, Deadpool moved up 2 weeks. It moved from June 1st, which is the date we mentioned, to May 18th of this year. And funny enough, that's a week before the Han Solo movie. Mm-hmm. So I guess you could look at it 2 ways. Like, it's getting out of the way of the Han Solo movie, which could have legs for a while if it's a good Star Wars film. And then, at least Deadpool can have one good, awesome opening weekend. But then you could also say, well, that seems odd that Deadpool is only going to have one great weekend, and then it's going to kind of drop a ton in its second week, most likely.
Right.
Or unless they know something that we don't know, like Fox already knows that Solo's getting moved, which is a distinct possibility. Right. We haven't seen a damn thing from Solo yet.
Right.
Mm.
So anyway, that moved. I think the oddest news that came out of this kind of set of moves that Fox did, which is the New Mutants, is the film that was set to come out, this April 13th. That got pushed back 10 months to February 22nd of 2019.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a leap.
This is a movie we've already been seeing trailers for. And now suddenly it's like a year away. Okay. What the hell happened there? According to, I guess, insiders, and I don't really buy this, but they're saying a reason for the change is to avoid having an overlap with X-Men movies in certain overseas markets, where Mutants and Deadpool 2 would have been in theaters at the same time. And I don't know if I buy that.
I don't think I buy that either.
No.
No.
I'm gonna go with no.
You would know when you were doing those movies
that was going to happen.
You would have seen that.
Right.
Yeah, you would have seen that a long time ago.
This wouldn't
and
be
to push it back a year,
like, oh, a movie's coming out in 2 months, and oh shit, look what we screwed up. Let's change it right now.
Yeah,
like now.
And then even if that did happen, why would it move a whole year? Like there has to be some other moments within the calendar year that you could put it, as opposed to pushing it out to an additional year. So, yeah, I think the most something recent I was reading where some insiders who were maybe doing some digging or whatever said that the real reason, and again, this is all just speculation, is that Fox had screened the movie for test audiences and they didn't like what the response was that they were getting back. So they want to do some reshoots, and there's no word on what the reshoots or what direction that they would be going. There's thoughts that it could be going in the direction that it wasn't a horror type film enough, so they're adding more horror elements to it, or it might have been too much of a horror film and they're taking that stuff out. So there's no indication of which direction that they're going, just that it didn't test as well as they were hoping, so they're making some changes.
So bizarre to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, Gambit moved from February of 2019 to June 7th of 2019. Oh, and it no longer has a director.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it lost a director.
Wow.
And it lost a director. Gore Verbinski left the production. So yeah, they are in need of a director over there for the Gambit film. That seems like it's never going to happen.
Well, the thing that's crazy, and I love Gambit as a character, like, he's a cool character. I don't know if he could hold his own film, though, and I've always kind of thought that. Like, I was like, yeah, I kind of like the idea, but... And I feel like all these issues it keeps running into is kind of I don't know. Is that kind of like foretelling of, it's a movie that really didn't need to be made? I don't know.
I just imagine that they're probably hoping that maybe if the character isn't good enough, not good enough, but isn't well known enough to have its own movie, that the idea of Channing Tatum in that role is enough to bring people to the theater to be able to check out this character. But it seems like they're having so many problems with it. And then last we heard too, there was like, I'm going to guess at the number because I can't remember, but I thought it was something like they were making it as a budget of like 160 million or something. I'm like, why?
Wow.
For a Gambit movie, does it need to be that high? I don't
Holy
understand.
crap.
So,
I know he blows some stuff up, but Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
I can't imagine that it would need to be that high unless they're trying to do a lot with it, and they don't really need to. If you can make
Right.
Deadpool under 100 million, you should be able to do the same for Gambit.
Right. Wow. Man.
Well, while we're talking about release dates, and real quick, Shazam now has a release date. I don't think we've talked about that on here yet. It's now going to be it's going to be released on April 5th of 2019
April. Cool.
with your boy.
Yeah, my boy. It's so funny because I think every time like anybody from our group finds information about this film and then we all like send it to each other, then it's like you're always like, hey, there's
Hey,
news
Michelle.
about there's news about your boy's film.
You know you're excited about the Shazam movie now.
Yeah.
Because
Like, Jesus.
Levi's in it.
Yeah, Zachary Levi. What was the news that came out today? They placed another character in that film too. Shoot.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
actor from This Is Us, and he was also in Luke Cage. He's an older guy.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
the father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
African-American father.
I'm going to get his last name wrong. Is it Ron Cephas? C-E-P-H? Cephas?
Your guess is as good as mine
I think
on
it's
that last
Cephas.
name pronunciation. But yeah, he's been added as the Wizard Shazam, from which Shazam gets his powers.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know when they retconned that. They probably did it for the New 52, though. But in all the other comics from the old school days, the Wizard was always pretty much what you would picture, like this Gandalf kind of looking guy and
Right.
older white guy looking. So I think it got retconned in the New 52 to make him look African American, because they show a picture of the Wizard Shazam and the actor who would be playing him in next to each other, and so he's definitely changed from what he used to look like back in the day.
Yeah, I'll admit, even as I know I get labeled the DC guy, but I don't know much of anything about Shazam. I think my most experience with Shazam was, and it was a semi-recent DC animated film from, I guess it's probably been a handful of years now. I forget which one that was that they had Shazam in.
He's been in a few now, so it's hard for me to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty recent one, and I think that was when I saw that, I was like, "This is my first time I've even seen anything Shazam-wise." I'd never read a Shazam comic book. Like,
I know of Shazam's existence, and that is it. I know nothing else about that character or the comics. I know nada.
Wow, surprising. He's always been around for quite some time.
oh, I
obviously.
know.
It's just, for me, I think I liked him a lot when I was growing up because of the whole idea of this kid being able to become this superhero, and just by saying the word Shazam. And I like the aspect, especially when you're a kid and you're reading comics, because you can identify. So I loved Shazam growing up.
While we're talking about DC animated stuff, I had heard this week that there's kind of the rumor possibility that DC may make a Superman Red Sun animated film.
What?
That would be awesome.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I could definitely
No,
see
it
it.
wouldn't surprise me
although,
either. Yeah.
Although I will say, more so than me wanting to see a Superman Red Sun film, I really want to see one that they said that they probably won't ever really do, which is Kingdom Come. Because that one is just a great story, and obviously with Alex Ross drawings in it, it just looks great. But they just were saying something to the idea of it not being quite adaptable in terms of trying to make it in a way, in a style that would complement the look of what Alex Ross did with the graphic novel, that it would just be too difficult. But who knows? Maybe one day they'll figure that out.
I don't think I'm familiar with the Kingdom Come storyline.
It's an interesting story where the characters are older. Like Superman's kind of got gray in his side temples.
Oh. Okay, I am familiar with it slightly. Yes. Okay.
It's a very iconic cover, too.
Yeah.
See it.
Yeah, okay. And the art is kind of, I guess, where the art that they did for Justice League kind of came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That poster.
Yeah, that poster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that I'm looking at images, yeah. It's coming to me now.
That one.
That's called Kingdom Come. Okay, got it. Anyways, so Red Sun, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be awesome. I had heard some rumblings like, the hope that maybe they'd make a live action of that, but I could never see that happening.
Oh, no way.
No, that's not going to happen. That would be perfect. That's the perfect venue for that is an animated film. And
yeah.
That would be cool. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, you can see them do that for sure.
And I'm interested in, was it Gotham by Gaslight? Is that out yet, or is that coming out soon?
Soon, yeah. How soon, I don't know, but I want to say it's very soon. I think it's within the next month or two, maybe at most by WonderCon, which is April. So it's within this early part of the year.
Yeah. Wait, is that based off? Oh, I did read that.
Yeah, it's based off the comic.
Yeah, I own that. I own that somewhere in this room. It's probably one of those boxes over there. I'm looking at the cover now, and I'm like, because I remember when I heard the title, I was like, oh, like that sounds really cool idea, but then it sounds familiar to me too. And now I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, it's an Elseworlds story,
right?
Which just means that it's like a what if story. It kind of. And what if Batman was around back in the early 30s, 40s, or something?
Yeah.
And then he was as a character back then, but like in that world, and what would it be like? And so that's pretty much the way this animation is adapted for that story. And that's kind of also where the whole Red Sun thing came into play. Was that they want to see DC or Warner Brothers Animation wants to see if this Gotham by Gaslight, yeah, does well enough, then they would want to maybe go ahead and do the Red Sun.
Well, it's in pre-order.
Yeah, it's coming out on February 6th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very soon.
Christmas or birthday present for myself, day before my birthday. Perfect. Well, that's really all I got, guys. That was kind of the big stuff. Cosmos is getting a second season. That's exciting.
Hey, that's exciting. I was a little giddy about that.
I'm pumped about that.
I loved Cosmos. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, apparently coming in 2019. It'll be called Cosmos Possible Worlds.
That's so cool.
And yeah, that'll debut on Fox and National Geographic.
Hey, nerds, hey. It's so cool. Yeah, I saw that one popped up one day, and I was like, what? Yeah, no, I'm crazy down for it. I guess I'll just let my little nerd flag fly on that one. But I'm like, no, it's good news for me. Yay, TV.
Sorry, you going to say something, Bobby?
Well, not about that. I mean, I haven't seen the first one enough to be jubilant about a sequel coming out. But wasn't that one the same one that was that narrated by Seth MacFarlane, or is that? No,
something? He's an executive producer on it. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a host of it. It's not just narrated by it, but he's in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very true to the original that Carl Sagan did back in the 70s.
Right. But yeah, McFarlane's
He
produced
produces it. I'm not sure, but I think it might still be on Netflix.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it was on for a long time. I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't seen it pop up, but I'm sure it's on Netflix. You can definitely watch. Bobby, you gotta watch it, dude. It's so good. all the
throw it
nerdy
into
science stuff is so awesome. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I'll throw it into the pile of the tons of stuff I need to get on top of. There's just like so many different things, obviously,
Just
and
like
more
watch
and more.
one episode an evening. You'll be fine. You'll be caught up in no time.
Okay, I guess I'll do that instead of the West Wing.
No.
No.
See,
After
what
West
it is, what it is you watch an episode of Cosmos and then you watch an episode of West Wing, and yeah.
Oh, that won't take too long
Boom.
to finish those two
You'll get
things.
through Cosmos
You'll get
quickly.
through Cosmos really quickly,
I
and
think it's
then-
like 8 episodes or something.
It's like 8 or
Oh,
10,
okay.
yeah. And then you'll be able to double up on West Wing then in the evenings after that. Look at that. Boom.
And just remember, at West Wing, you can stop after 4 seasons, dude. After that,
That is true.
Yeah.
Really, the first 4 seasons.
you don't need to finish it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 5 was okay.
It's not terrible, but
It definitely goes downhill after that.
it's definitely a noticeable difference in quality.
Yeah.
And especially considering the reason he's wanting to watch West Wing because of Aaron Sorkin.
Right. The first 4 seasons are all Aaron Sorkin. The rest of it, not so much.
Well, not so much as in not at all. Yeah, I mean, he left.
I know. Oh my. So yeah.
You were going to say, Bobby.
Bobby, you should watch this thing.
Bobby, what were you going to say?
Okay. No. If I can get around to it, there's definitely other things that are on the list that still are quite a bit higher than getting to watch Cosmos. Sadly to say.
Okay. Okay. I guess.
I mean, look, I still haven't even watched season 1 of The Crown, and then season 2's out. So
my god, Bobby.
That's my point.
But you did watch what? Did you watch 1 or 2 episodes for the...
I watched the first 2, yeah.
Okay.
Is anybody gonna go see Den of Thieves?
Yeah, I'm going to try
12
and check that out this
Strong.
week.
Are you gonna try to see that one? Or 12 Strong?
I don't know if I'll get to see that one. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't know that I'll get a chance to see it. At least not this week.
So speaking of seeing The Crown for the I Challenge You, so how's Dexter, Michelle?
Yeah, you've had plenty of time.
Man, you've
to
had
watch
like
that,
over
right?
a month. You probably finished the first season, right?
You would think.
I'm getting a look.
Oh, is that right?
Damn!
I'm just wondering, how is it?
I got skid marks from the bus that just ran me over.
Wait, I wouldn't have.
Jesus.
No, but I wouldn't have thought that was the case, that you got ran over, because I thought that was a legitimate statement that it's been like seriously a month or so. I would have thought, like, what, the assignment is to watch 1 episode?
There's 2
if you can. So
There was a little thing
You
called
haven't watched any?
Christmas, and then we
Oh.
decided to cram in every single movie created in that premiered in the last week of December into a weekend. Like, I've been busy, people. Oh my gosh!
I'm just asking.
Wow.
I don't
A2
know.
Brute?
Yeah,
Jesus.
the looks continue, by the way. If
Wow.
only we were doing live video for this. I was just wondering.
Well, what's okay? So then, between now and Sunday, what will you be able to offer as a reason as not getting to?
I
do
guess
your
I'm gonna have
challenge?
to freaking figure it out now.
Aw, you
Jeez.
can watch 2 episodes before Sunday.
Oh my
Come on.
Lord, I'm not seeing any movies this weekend. I'm watching Dexter. The TV show that's been out for 10 years.
There should be some sort of, because what's the point of a challenge if you cannot lose a challenge? So there should be some sort of penalty here or something, because
What kind of penalty?
you've definitely lost this challenge. I don't know. I think we need to come up with something. Otherwise, we can't call it a challenge. It has to be called something like you should watch, or I don't know, something different, because it's a challenge. So
You
can
do
lose
use the word
right?
challenge in the title, so yeah, if it were a true challenge and you lost the challenge, Michelle, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I could revoke your press badge to Comic-Con. That'd be pretty rough.
Ooh. That would be
Oh, she just threw the mic up. Oh, come on, Michelle. I'm joking. Yeah, she pulled her headphones out. Like,
Jesus. God. When did I join the Soviet Union? Good night. Y'all are backstabbing little.
it was Bobby that said this should be a penalty, and I was trying to think of something.
Well, because this is
And
the first.
revoking my press badge for Comic-Con's the first thing that popped into your mind? You, David, you scratched my car. No more driving for the rest of your life. Fuck you, dude.
Anyway, I kid. But hey, you should watch Dexter. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, guys, anybody got anything else?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Never gonna live this episode down.
Oh my God. Why do I even come here?
Oh, Michelle.
All right, Bobby, what you got, man?
No, you know what? I had wanted to circle back to the whole Spider-Man thing real quick because there was one point I meant to mention about the idea of having Peter Parker in the Venom movie is that the one thing that I would be confused about, maybe not general audiences because they don't know enough, but myself and people who do know, if you see Peter Parker in Venom, at what point in time did Peter Parker have the black suit that it's not with him anymore and that it's now with Venom? Because that was a thing. And so how do you cover that? Like, he's in the movie wise, he's barely been Spider-Man that long and you've never seen him with the black suit. So where and when did that happen? Unless the way I was thinking of it would be if the Venom movie takes place after the Avengers 4 and maybe at some point in time in Avengers 3 and 4, or maybe after that, that there's this whole year of Peter Parker's life where he had the symbiote and we just didn't see it. And then you have the Venom movie, and maybe in a flashback of the Venom movie, you see a period of time when Spider-Man had the black suit a year or so after Avengers 4. Otherwise, it's like, well, then it starts to get a little murky for us people who know the history of Spider-Man and that black suit, that symbiote.
Right, and then I fully admit that from my point of view, I know nothing about that. So
yeah,
when I say what I say about this whole thing and people being confused or not, like, I'm coming at it from I don't know that story. So yeah, if that's what everyone is talking about when they say they're going to be confused or people are going to be confused, then fine. But
although I will say you do know it, maybe just not from a comic standpoint, because if you've seen Spider-Man 3, then you know it.
Yeah. I know it from that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyone that's seen Spider-Man
my 3. God.
Look,
you're giving me crap for Dexter, and you somehow did not see the horror fest.
Don't even try
that
to
is
relate.
Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, it's because it sounds like a shit show.
It is a shit show, and every person should suffer through it at least once in their life.
I have seen it in parts. I have never sat and watched all of Spider-Man 3. And I don't think I need to. It looks terrible.
You may have just opened yourself up to an I challenge.
I was gonna say, dude, wow. And Dexter's coming back to haunt your dreams.
I mean, I'll watch it, but yeah, it's one that I never caught. And yeah, I think I've seen it in parts on TV, but I don't really know the Venom story from it. So sorry.
Fair enough.
Anyway, guys, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. As always, we'd love to hear back from anyone listening. You can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/flickereffect, on Instagram at flickereffect, and on Twitter at flicker_effect.
And
YouTube. youtube.com/flickereffect if you would like to listen to our shows on there. There's no actual video, but you can listen to the shows.
I listen to the shows because usually I'll put my headphones on when I'm at work, and I can listen to other things that are on YouTube, and I'll listen to the show from
That's
our
how you
YouTube
do
channels.
it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yep, you can also find us on the iHeartRadio app, Google Play Music, iTunes, of course, or whatever podcast app you use. Just search for Flicker Effect. We'll show up. So please subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. With that, I'm David Lott.
Bobby Jackson.
And I'm Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for listening.